Welcome to 4C Radio. We are broadcasting from the central campus of Christ University, Bengaluru. 4C Radio is brought to you by the Department of Media Studies, Christ University. For all those who are looking for a platform that focuses on communities, commons, climate, and communication, this is the place to be. What's more, the station is run by a diverse community of students and dedicated faculty members. Tune in to experience hard hitting interviews, fact checks and myth busting, on ground stories, campus news, and more. A few days ago, your social media feed was full of Bangalore Habba content. What Bengaluru is unaware of is Bhumi Habba. Today, on February 27th, the farmers of Devanahalli came together to celebrate their victory of a 4-year-long struggle against state-led land acquisition plan and safeguarding 1,777 acres of land around Bengaluru. Reporters of 4C visited Devanahalli to speak to the farmers and their families about the protest, its success, and what awaits them in the future.
What does land mean to you? Is it an asset, a number on paper, inherited wealth, or a future return on investment? In cities, land often lives in documents and transactions. But in Devanahalli Taluk, Karnataka, land is memory, dignity, resistance, and survival. It signifies more than 4 years of protest, a fight that started to protect their rights but now stands as a testament to their endurance and courage. Farmers from 13 villages in Devanahalli, Karnataka, opposed the government's decision to acquire the 1,777 acres of agricultural land for industrial development under Phase 2 of the Aerospace Park expansion, as shown by data from the Karnataka Industrial Area Development Board. Previously, around 1,300 acres from around 10 villages had been acquired in Phase 1. By 2025, many activists had joined the cause of the farmers, with Medha Patkar writing a letter to the Karnataka CM urging him to look into the matter. Considered to be a historic win for farmers after rallying for over 4 years or 1,198 days, in July 2025, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah recalled the notification at a press conference.
We are retracking the notification we gave about the land acquisition of the whole 1,777 acres of land.
However, he did leave a caveat there. He said those who wish to voluntarily sell their land can do so.
If the farmers come forward themselves to sell the land, we are willing to accept it based on a mutual agreement.
A few weeks later, a meeting was announced to discuss voluntary sale and acquisition, prompting the farmers to protest again. In January 2026, the Karnataka Industrial Areas Development Board, or the KIADB, made another attempt at acquiring land that has been notified as Special Permanent Agriculture Zone, asking interested farmers to meet the land acquisition officer. None of these efforts seem to shake the farmers and their resolve to protect their land. We asked the farmers of Devanahalli about the landmark protest that began in 2022, what prompted them, how they mobilized, and why.
The constitution of a nation is our biggest strength. With the help of the constitution, we are able to exercise our basic rights and protect our land for our kids. We began the protest by burning the notification sent by the Karnataka Industrial Areas Development Board, and we swore upon the soil to give up our lives, fighting but never give up on our land. That is when we declared that we are protesting against the notification issued by the KIADB.
To understand this protest, we have to go back in time. The Karnataka land reforms of 1974 ensured the ownership of the land to the tiller of the land. The remaining excess land after redistribution was provided to scheduled caste and scheduled tribe families. What followed was riots and violence by the upper castes.
In 1978 and 79, our ancestors sent an application requesting farmland, but they did not get it easily. They struggled for 25 years and fought with the upper caste land owners. There was bloodshed as well. A few people were mutilated by cutting off their limbs.
That was Mohan, a farmer who has seen his village go through the redistribution and the riots. For families like his, this redistribution wasn't charity, it was justice.
We fought so hard to get this land and were finally making a living. But then the state government issued the land acquisition notification in 2021. The government, on one hand, said we are giving land to the landless farmers and is now snatching away that very land. How is that fair?
We also spoke to Krishnappa, a farmer who has been a part of the fight since 1978 and has participated in both the Phase 1 and Phase 2 protests.
We are determined no matter what happens to us, we need to protect our lands for our grandkids so that they don't go through what we went through or our ancestors went through. We will fight this fight even if means losing our lives.
Since independence, slogans such as Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan have championed the farmers as the backbone of our country. Even today, agriculture remains the largest employer and a major contributor to the country's GDP. Time and again, elected representatives have promised to support the people who feed the nation. But often, they respond to their protests with violence and apathy. Instances of police brutality have also been reported during demonstrations. The farmers spoke about some of these instances.
The government has troubled us a lot of times. Even during the Independence Day celebration, we planned on blockading the minister's program. But before we could even do that, the policeman came and arrested around 30 to 40 farmers at 2 in the night as if we were robbers without an FIR. They arrested us solely because of the intimation that we would protest. We protested against that as well. Close to 72 farmers went on stage that day and declared our dissent. The policeman then arrested them all and physically assaulted both men and women using lathi charge.
We spoke to Pramod, who has played a vital role in mobilizing the farmers and has been at the forefront of the protests.
Yes, I had an eye injury. My retina was completely damaged and I also had surgery done for it.
With all the personal risks that come with this protest, it is for the farmers a matter of survival. The land is their livelihood. These farmers grow a wide variety of produce, from fruits and vegetables such as pomegranates and cucumbers, and even fenugreek. The markets of Bengaluru, being easily accessible, are able to provide them with a good return for their produce.
Our farming activities are also beneficial to governments through taxes and produces. By farming, we are not just feeding ourselves, but feeding those around us. We are also giving jobs to quite a number of people, and it's not like we are the only ones living here. Cattle and other animals also live in this ecosystem that we are fighting for, and we won't find the happiness we are getting in this land anywhere else.
All these economic contributions also come at a high risk. Agriculture in India is a gamble, and participating in a protest increases the risks of this gamble. Mohan, a farmer and a protester, explains.
Because of the protest, we had to stay here day and night since we had to coordinate a lot of things here in Devanahalli and in Bengaluru. So we could not water the crops and tend to them in time. That's why most of the farmers here who are regularly involved in the protest have faced a lot of losses.
Agriculture is one of the biggest employers in the country. And yet, it remains, for the majority, an unprofitable venture. Despite the losses, it remains the only source of livelihood for most families in rural India, and it is only exacerbated by the current unemployment crisis. Pramod says, farming is the only real option for them.
They're using employment as an agenda for land acquisition, but they're not giving proper jobs to any of the localites. They're only offering housekeeping, gardening, and security jobs to us. They're mostly getting all North Indian workers from Bihar and UP. They are not giving us any quality work. We are giving jobs to a few people on our farm and living peacefully. Why should we leave our work, lose our land, and go work for someone else?
In a country that speaks endlessly about development, Devanahalli forces us to ask, development for whom? At what cost? And who gets to decide? The High-Tech Defence and Aerospace Park, Phase 2, now stands opposite to Nanjappa's land, one of the main organizers of the protest. The overhead shed across the grape farm marks an enclosure, almost a barricade, between him and the very people he has been fighting against for years, standing across from the park that now borders his fields. He explains why he has led this fight from the very beginning.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಫಾರಂ ಹತ್ರನೇ ಒಂದು 4 ಹಳ್ಳಿಯವರು ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ ಬಂದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ
We gathered farmers near my farm and discussed about organizing the protest, saying, "You have to stand with us because you are our strength." That is how it started first. We were confident that if we do the protest, we will be supported by the farmers in the nearby villages. So we gathered all the representatives from the villages, told them to stand with us for the protest, and assured them that we will win.
ಅಳೆಯ ನಾವು ಹೋರಾಟಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಲ್ಲೋಣ, ನಾವು ಗೆಲ್ಲಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಪಟ್ಟವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗಿರ್ರಿ.
Today, after 4 years and a historic victory, Nanjappa continues to remain alert and slightly wary of every small development that seeks to take their land away. On January 23rd, 2026, in the thick of the protest, nearly 40,000 people gathered at the Brigade Innovation Gardens to attend Linkin Park's music concert, only 3 minutes away from the Aerospace Park and Nanjappa's farm. On that same day, the farmers' protest marked its 1351st day. Mohan and Pramod talk about the changes that came about after Phase 1 acquisition.
In Phase 1, they took the land for industry and manufacturing purposes, but gave close to 105 acres of land to Chanakya University. They take the land from farmers under the pretense of development, but give away acres and acres of land to businesses like Brigade Group.
They've taken a portion of land stating that it will be made into a defense and aerospace park, but there is literally nothing related to defense or aerospace.
Recently, the Times of India reported that the state would exclude the 1,777 acres in Devanahalli from its plan to create a 24,000-acre industrial land bank. However, in January 2026, the Karnataka Housing Board announced a major project of 593 acres near Devanahalli. As mentioned earlier, the KIADB has said that those farmers who voluntarily want to sell their land can do so, which has resulted in considerable anxiety among farmers. Krishnappa says that the struggle is far from over.
For the past 4 years, we have not been able to do anything properly. We have just been living anxiously, worried that the police might come and snatch our lands away.
We are providing work to many landless laborers through our farm activities and are living contently here. Instead of being slaves to these industrialists who merely say, "We will give you employment," we are able to independently create jobs and sustain our lifestyles while living happily.
Though farmers like Krishnappa, Nanjappa, Mohan and Pramod remain upbeat about their landmark victory at the Bhumi Habba, they also continue to be vigilant as Bengaluru hurtles towards unsustainable urbanization at the cost of rural livelihoods.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. This was a special field report bringing you stories from the ground. As always, stay curious and tune in for more. This episode was hosted by Nishtha Chakrabarti, reported by Anusri P, Diya Dhananjayan, Nishtha Chakrabarti, Shinjini Chaturvedi, and Shovanghi Biswas. Edited by Guru Aditya and illustrated by Vernika Singh. The signature tune was composed by Dr Ananthu. Please write to us and follow us on X, Instagram, and LinkedIn.